Good morning. It's the morning of day 14, I guess. I'm 2/3 the way through the trip, time-wise. And I've reached that point in the trip where I'm kind of ready to be done with it. I'm tired. I'm physically tired. And I'm wet. And I'm tired of being wet. About 3 days ago, I came upon Deer Lake. Beautiful lake. One of the deepest on the island, over 900 feet deep. And there's a aquaculture operation that a couple of guys were running there, and they let me have a layover day in their little cabin there, which was a bright spot in the middle of the trip. Gotta say, it was really helpful to be able to drive my stuff out there. But after a layover day there, I hiked up on over a shallow pass, a narrow little pass, but not too high, about 500 feet up and over, into this unnamed valley here, which holds a pretty big river. It drains a major portion of the southern part of the island, but it has no name. It's only in remote places like this do you get major rivers without a name. I've spent the last couple of very, very, very wet days coming down this river, both bushwhacking through the wet brush and pack rafting in the obviously wet river. So I spend my entire days wet. I have most of the trip. The only time I'm dry, really, is when I get into my sleeping bag. I've got a pair of dry undies, dry socks, and a dry shirt, and my little hat that I powder up my feet and put on my nice big warm dry socks and get into my sleeping bag. It's probably the best part of my night. But one of the first things in the morning, when it's cold out, I take all those off, put them back in the dry sack, and stick back on my sopping wet layers. So it's day 14. I'm in the middle of this river, camped right under Rudikoff Mountain, which is a gorgeous little thing. I haven't actually been able to see any of the peaks of the mountains around me because it's been socked in the entire time. But the lower flanks of these mountains are beautiful, gotta say. I should be one more day out to get out to the end of this river. The canyon's kind of steep here for about a mile, so I got to be bushwhacking around it. The river's a little too steep to run, and then it flattens out considerably. It's about a 4 or 5 mile stretch. It goes down less than 100 feet, so I should be able to float it pretty easily then. Yesterday, I had an interesting day on the pack raft. I was putting in and taking out. I spent a lot of time switching between bushwhacking and pack rafting. Simply because there were some rapids on the river that had a nasty bushwhack to get around them, and then I'd pack raft for another half mile and then find another nasty stretch of water. And over one particular rapids, I went over it, didn't realize how big the bottom little drop was until I got onto it, and at that point it was too late. I went over it, crossed my fingers, and in the bottom I ended up dunking, took a swim in the river. Which was interesting. I didn't lose anything. My system worked great. Everything that was needed to stay dry stayed dry in my dry sacks. Everything else was sopping wet, and I was sopping wet. But overall, I fared all right. My pack raft, the spray skirt, got a little damage on it. I got a big tear in the spray skirt that I'll have to patch up when I get a chance, when it's dry enough out, to really dry it out completely, because the adhesive won't stick on wet fabric. Another interesting thing about bushwhacking in a rainforest. Adhesive patches don't stick to anything. Meh, I fared alright though. My little life vest did its job. All the systems I had in place did their job. So, didn't lose anything. I'm still going good today, although everything's still pretty darn damp. Yeah. Again, day 14 of the trip. I'm ready to get to Port Alexander. I still got a few days left. At minimum 4 or 5 days to get there. Probably take 6 or so. We'll see. But yeah. Late morning of day 14. Checking out.